What do you say if we finish off this weekend with some really hot news about World of Tanks? Let's talk about the future of World of Tanks, because lately feels like they have actually been working on making this game better, and the future looks quite promising, if I'm completely honest with you. To someone who has played this game for 7 years, or actually 7+ years now, and still loves this game, I am talking about myself, I still do love this game, this sounds freaking amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to some more World of Tanks news. Couple days ago we received, and when I say we, I mean community contributors, received some information about one of the developers' Q&A session. And I would like to share some of the, in my opinion, most interesting or a bit more interesting topics with you. And let's have a little discussion in the comment section, as always, as we like to do over here. Because discussions in my comment section over here are actually getting really exciting. Usually one interesting comment has like 20+ replies, so thank you guys, thank you for making my comment section as a little mini forum or little mini community over there. So let's try that again with this episode over here. So in that Q&A, which was I think over 3 hours long Q&A session, they talked about many different topics, many questions, and let's try to go over them one by one. Most likely I am not going to mention, or I am not going to make this episode like 20+ minutes a long episode, simply because if I cover too many different topics in one episode, this would get the comment section super messy. And so many things to think about. So let's try to separate them. So they were talking about blacklisting maps, for example, which I covered already 2 days ago, made one dedicated episode about that as well. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I am going to leave one link into the description, but quickly I have to say I really like it. As I said, so far we are able to ban, I think when this feature is going to be introduced, at first we are able to ban only one map, but in my opinion, if we would be able to ban 2 maps, this would still be okay. But overall, I really liked this idea. But yeah, as I mentioned, I already talked about that, so link is in the description. Next up, Frontline is going to get another map. New map. Hooray. Yes, hooray. No ETA for now, but that is one really awesome news. No ETA because I think they do not even know when this map is going to be finished. The Frontline mode map is bigger as well, a lot bigger than our standard maps. And I remember like maybe 1 year ago in one of their developer diaries episodes, when they talked about World of Tanks 1.0, they said one map can take up to 6 months in total. Starting from planning, then designing, remodeling, stuff like that. So one map can take up to 6 months, but one Frontline map, I don't know, I have no idea how long that Frontline map has been in work already, so no ETA because of that, but yeah, at least they are working on another one. And I really like and support it. Because I do not know about you, but the current map that we have, a Frontline map, is slowly but steadily becoming quite boring for me. All the positions are kinda locked down already. I know where to go to attack if I want to attack, if I want to take one position, one point. I know where are the best defending positions for one or another flank, so the entire Frontline map, which is quite big actually, is kinda locked down. I know how to use this map with the different vehicle classes, heavy tanks, light tanks, medium tanks, because we are going to get Frontline episode 3, but we have been able to play on that map previously as well, before all those episodes, so the map stayed the same. Maybe some remodeling, tiny remodeling here and there, but the overall playstyle is still the same. And even though this mode is available only for 1 week in a month, it still needs some refreshing, for me at least. And the 2 maps should give it a map rotation feel at least. So I like it, keep working on it, Wargaming. Good news, thumbs up from me. On the top of that, another topic which I covered like 1 week ago, or maybe a bit more, is Kharkov map. New, upgraded, improved HD Kharkov is coming fairly soon. Maybe even with update 1.5. Fingers crossed, but no confirmation, no official confirmation yet. So get ready for our newest city/open map. From the presentation video it looked really awesome, but of course we have to play on it to see how it feels. Maybe it is a complete crap, but at least yet another new map, which maybe is going to be banned by all of you with that new blacklisting system. And once again, if you want to learn more about Kharkov, then link is in the description. Moving on into the next topic. Let's talk about the Havok engine and some problems with it. At first, when 1.0 was released, so-called new era in World of Tanks with new graphics and stuff, we had quite many problems with maps, hitboxes on maps, terrains, shells, coast shells, stuff like that. For example, I remember on Tundra, there were many positions, especially on that northeast hill, I think. You know that main hill which everybody likes to take at the start of the battle? Well, you know, at the edge of the map, mainly involving rocks over there. Cliffs and rocks. When you were able to see through the edge of the rock, your aiming circle was fully covering the enemy tank, and when you took the shot, your shot still did hit the damn rock. So some of the terrain hitboxes had many issues, so quite a big like auras, shadows, or I don't know how to call it. And we had that same problem on many different maps. Even on Malinovka I remember a couple quite ridiculous issues. And they were fixing those problems quite quickly actually. Well, for wargaming standards, compared to how fast they like to fix brokenly overpowered tanks. But occasionally it still happens on some of the maps, so they said in order to fix the problems with poor interaction of shells and map collision, a rework for the Havok algorithm calculating the map collision is being worked on. They should fix all the cases of being able to shoot through landscape or invisible textures preventing the shot. This is what I was talking about once and for all. Sounds good to me, keep up the good work, thumbs up from me. And they are also working on one quite annoying problem called soap rocks. This is how the community likes to call it, at least, the Zerkon especially. Zerkon like hates those soap rocks. And about that topic they said, unnaturally slippery surfaces such as rocks are a known problem and will be addressed after fixes to Havok. Nice. Once again, thumbs up from me, keep it going. I know on some maps like Cliff is full of those freaking soap rocks and it is kinda annoying. You have metal tracks, you have like super sharp rocks, like with sharp edges and stuff like that, and you're literally sliding on those things. This doesn't happen. But moving on, once again, no stopping in today's episode because we have many different topics to cover. Next up, let's talk about yet another hot topic. Hot and interesting and intriguing topic, because feels like in the community there are two different sides. People who use and defend XVM and people who hate XVM, literally hate XVM. And I think the latter has a bit bigger community behind it, or at least they are a bit more loud about XVM and how bad it is to the game. So we have two big groups and four smaller groups, or four groups in total. People who love it, people who hate it, people who do not give a damn, and people who are like, who am I? What is this game? Who really do not even know what XVM is all about. But in the Q&A session, XVM topic was raised and they said, before implementing an anonymizing feature, a lot of potential problems have to be studied. So let's try to study them together, guys. Problem number 1. Too many people choosing to be anonymous. Problem number 2. Too little people choosing to be anonymous, which will just make players, enemy players, focus on the anonymous players, they said. And finally, it being significantly harder for the support team to respond to tickets about anonymous players breaking game rules, and so on. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's start from the beginning. Number 1, too many people choosing to be anonymous. Wouldn't this simply show how most of the player base is feeling about the XVM system in the game? They do not want it. And maybe you make it as, or maybe you make yourself as anonymous player by default. So players who only want to show their stats for some reason can do it. Artillery and enemy team focusing unicums is not the only problem, for example. One really big issue is stat shaming. At the start of the battle, many times I have seen so many hate words, speech towards one or another player from the player who is using XVM and sees one guy is performing really bad. So this is another issue why this might help it out. The second issue they mentioned was too little people choosing to be anonymous, and enemy players will focus those anonymous players. I do not think this is going to be an issue, because you can make yourself anonymous for many reasons. Number one, you want to hide your super good unicum stats. Number two, you want to hide your really bad stats and are tired of stat shaming. You are tired about hearing how bad you are in this game. For example, hate speeds and so on. Number three, you simply do not want to show your name, average stats, doesn't matter for some other reason. Maybe you have really good stats, really bad stats, you simply do not want to show your stats, you simply do not want to show your username. And if for some reason enemy team and SPGs are hardcore focusing down those anonymous players, then they are already making mistakes. Sometimes they spend all their energy focusing down the worst player on the enemy side, for example. But I do not think there are going to be too little players using it. I do not think this is going to be an issue. And finally, they said it being significantly harder for the support team to respond to tickets about anonymous players breaking game rules. Well, for the start, shouldn't there still be an ID connected to one player? So support teams should have enough power to find it from the replay file. I think so, at least. Because before they ban someone, they need to see the proof anyway by looking at the replay file, if it wasn't an automatic ban, but we have like automatic chat ban, I think, if you receive enough reports. And how to get chat banned, like at the moment I think we have to simply choose the player in the player list, but if the username is hidden, or if the username in every single battle is like random number generator, then you can still link it up to the chat, or maybe you can simply click a right mouse button in the chat window and you can report that sentence and it is getting linked to the player. So you do not need to see the username for that. And another thing which is automated is team damaging at the moment. I think when the invisible team damage bar fills up, team damaging and team killing bar fills up, you turn blue and you are getting banned automatically. I think for 7 days for the start or something like that, automated ban system. So yeah, yet another reason why we do not need to see the username, but maybe for some hackings, I don't know, maybe this is an issue I am not aware of, but I think everything is solvable if you try hard enough. And guys, let's actually make a little poll. In the top right corner, on PC at least, you should be able to see one question. And my question is, if you would have that option to make your stats, your username private, would you do it? And if needed, I can actually provide that information to the wargaming guys. So this is going to answer to this question at least, to the first two questions. Too many people choosing to be anonymous and too little people choosing to be anonymous. Let's see what happens. Please think about it. Think about it and then answer. And let me know what do you think about XVM in the comments down below. Are you using it? What is your take on it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Maybe you do not give a damn. Maybe you do not know what it is. Just let me know in the comments down below. And also, while you are down over there already, let me know what you think about all the other topics covered in today's episode. As I said, I do not want to make this episode like 20 plus minutes long episode, simply because pushing too many topics into one video messes up the comment section too much. But I would love to hear what you think about all the covered topics today. So, map blacklisting, new Frontline map, new Kharkov, Havok engine changes, terrain issues. Do you still have them, by the way? Where and on which map? I can address those problems to Wargaming if needed. What do you think about SOAPY rocks? Do you have that issue? Do you see this as an issue? And XVM. So hit me up. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed your weekend, sexy beasts. Stay awesome, take care, and bye.